All right, guys. So first, we're going to start it off with the disclaimer. All right, as you guys know, trading, Forex is a risk. All right, whether you have software, whether you have analysis tools, doesn't matter. Trading the foreign exchange market is a risk. All right, high level risk at that. Only trade the amount of money that you can afford to lose. Avoid your prime is not providing investment advice. Neither am I. All we are doing is helping you out from an educational standpoint. All the tools we provide you and these calls that we have are all for educational purposes only. All right. Now that we got that out the way, let's jump into it. So, again, my name is Nathan Williams. For those who do not know me, I've been trading the financial markets for over 13 years now. Specifically Forex for going on 5 years now. So, been a little bit over 4.5, going on 5 years. And 2.5 of the last 4.5 years, two years or so, I've been teaching others how to trade. And it wasn't until about 8 months ago that I decided that I wanted to create a software that would make teaching easier because not everyone can, catch on. And not only does everybody can catch on, not everybody wants to put in or has the opportunity to put in the work when it comes to all the hours, understanding how to trade the forex market themselves, and analyze the charts, things of that nature. And so I wanted to come up with a tool that makes things simple, no matter what level of experience traders are, whether they're brand new or whether they're 20 years in the game. Doesn't really matter. All right, and that was the whole goal. And so what I've done is I've created a visual layout of what the forex market is doing at the time, and kind of give you a projection. And then I've created 7 strategies of myself, and then there's been some members of the Avoid Your Prime community who have created the other 3. So combined, there are a total of 10 strategies that we utilize, with this visual aided software. So the visual aided software is just that. It's just a visual aid. When you combine the 10 strategies with the visual aid, you have a trading system that is built for traders of all sizes, whether you are a big money trader, a small money trader, whether you like to hold trades for a short amount of time like me, or you like to hold them for a long amount of time and swing trade. All right. So we will jump into the charts. All right, jump into these charts real quick here. All right, and I just want to show you what a typical chart looks like. This is what a typical Forex chart looks like. Now, when you first set up the MetaTrader 4 app here, and for those who don't know what this is the tool that we utilize to trade the foreign exchange market. So when you set up your access pass in Avoid Your Prime and you log into your VPS, whether it be through the remote desktop or through the website itself, you'll come to to this platform here. All right, I'm going to give you guys the settings if you want your charts to look like mine. All I've done is change the settings so that I have these dotted white lines here, these period separators, which shows you every 24 hours. So every 24 hours is a new day. And then I've changed the up candles, so the buy candles green, and the down candles, so the sell candles red. All right, so what I'm going to do to get these settings, I'm going to show the settings to you. You need to follow the same steps to put them in. So you want to right click on the black part of the screen. You get a menu, come down to properties. And then here are the colors. Go ahead, take a screenshot, take a picture of that so that you can see, you put those in to your actual settings next time. That way, and then I'll show you how to save it so your chart will look the exact same as mine. All right. After the colors, you want to go to common, and you'll make sure you have these settings right here. All right. You guys a second to take a picture of that, screenshot that. We'll go back and do it one more time. All right. Right click on the black of the screen, go to properties. If you already took everything down, go ahead and start putting everything in. All right. Changing all your colors and everything. All right. Here's the colors. Under common, here are these settings. All right. Now, once you've saved it, it looks just like this. You want to then come up here to this last icon here on the menu bar. This icon, if you put your mouse over it, it'll say templates. You want to click on templates and you want to hit save template. All right, you want to hit save template. You want to come down here and you want to save .tpl. So you just want to go in here and change this to default. I call it default. You can call it whatever you want to. I call it default. You hit save. All right, I'm gonna hit cancel because I've already done it. Now, if you're going through the Avoya Prime, you're going through the remote desktop, and you're going through AP, it's going to tell you, it's going to give you error. Just select yes. And matter of fact, I will show you exactly. Let's do that. Let me share my AP screen here. Share. I'm gonna do it in. All right, here is my desktop with Avoya Prime. All right, let me close this chart. So what most of you probably see is this. This is what most of you probably see. All right, and so you want to go in, you want to save those settings. All right, and you want to save it as a default. Now, when you save it as default, let me go in here and let's do it. Properties. All right, background, grid, line bar up, bar down. Let me knock these out real quick, guys, so I can all right, we got all that done there. And then come to common, you want to turn the chart shift on, candlesticks, show ask lines, show period separators, turn off the grid, hit OK. There it is. All right, so now we got the same settings. All right. Go to 15-minute time frame, M15. So collect that right there. Select that, M15. They come up here, save template. Operations have been canceled. That's fine. Hit OK. You get this popping up here, default, like that. All right. Hit save. All right. Now, when you do that, and I'll show you, I'm going to close it out. I'm going to open up another chart. All right, GBP USD, open up the chart. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to click on templates. I want to hit load template. And you see I have two. I have AIRO version 2, and I'll show you how to save that one. And I got default. So everyone that's using Avoya Prime, this is the trick. When using the remote desktop or the VPS through your actual computer, through the website, this is how you save templates. All right, select default. Select open. There it is, saved. So yes, you can save your charts, your setups on the VPS, whether it's through the VPS or through the remote desktop. All right. Cool. One second, we got a couple questions here. So, been asked questions about the live trades, the live trading sessions. They start back next week. Live trading sessions start back next week, second week of January, as I talked about. All right. All right, guys. I just saved the default chart. I did not put AIRO software on my chart, so it's going to look different. Calm down, guys. We're just on the default chart. That's all we're doing. Just on default chart. Let me get started. You guys understand where I'm going with it. This is just the default chart. All right. We're just on the default chart. That is all we are on the default chart. All right. Now that you have the default chart, and the first thing you want to do is you want to select this icon here. It's going to be a gold folder with a gold star. You want to come down here to indicators. You want to push the plus button next to indicator to open up the menu. You want to come down to AIRO V2. All right, and you want to double click on AIRO V2. All right. You want to make sure desktop alert is true and push notifications to your phone is true. They should come standard. And then for the money zone, all right, for the money zone, you want to set it based off of your broker time frame. All right. So I don't know, this is AP. I don't know the broker's time frame. So what I'm going to do right now, and I'll show you guys how to set it. Here's a trick I use. Select OK. All right, there we go. Uh-oh, I'm not logged into my account. Give me 1 second, guys. Just kick me out of my MetaQuotes account. Let me. All right, so we go to AIRO V2. Let me put that on real quick. All right. Now, the money zone is this gray shaded area. We'll go over that here in a second about what that means. All right. So this is what you should do. It is 9:17 my time. All right, 9:17. I want to come here to get my vertical line. I want to put it at the beginning of my money zone. All right. Now, at 12 p.m. or sorry, 12 a.m. Central Standard Time, this is where your line should start. That's where the money zone should start. You should be in the money zone. The first candle should be in the money zone at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time. I know mine is correct because I've set mine up. If you have Hugo's Way, 0800 to 2000. So I'm going to pull it up here. All right, 12 a.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I know that with Hugo's Way, that's 0800 to 2000. But what you need to do is at midnight or 12 a.m. Central Standard Time, whatever the first candle is at 12 a.m. your time, depending on your broker, that is the time you need to set for your money zone. Now, what do I mean by that? All right, let's close this out. So this first line, you put your line here. You put when it's 12 a.m. Central Standard Time, you want to put a vertical line on that candle. So when this candle, when they finally get to 12 a.m., you want to put your line there. All right, and then you want to come down here and look and see what the time frame is on your actual server. So you see here, mine says 0800, 0800. All right, 0800. So whatever that time is for you, based on your broker, you want to then come to your indicators list. So let me show you how to get here. You want to right click on the black of the screen. You want to come to indicators list. You want to double click AIRO V2, and under inputs, you want to come here. You want to double click this, delete it, and then type in whatever you see there. 0800 for me. And then you want to go 12 hours. It's a 12-hour window. So the money zone lasts for 12 hours. So whatever time you put in here, add 12 more hours, and that gives you the ending time. 0800 is military time frame. So 0800 plus 12 hours is 2000. That's where I get the end of my money zone. And that's if you're using Hugo's Way broker. If you're not, at 12 a.m. Central Standard Time at night, go ahead and mark a vertical line here to show what the time is. Plug that in. That's it. That's all you got to do, guys. All right. So now that you have AIRO V2 on your screen and you've adjusted it based on the time frame, you want to do the same thing we did for the default. You want to right click. So you want to click on the templates. You want to hit Save Template. You want to type in AIRO, and you want to hit Save. Again, remember, it's going to give you the error first. It's going to give you the error. You select yes, go through that, type in AIRO, save it, and then whenever you want to use it again, you just come down here and hit load template, and you select AIRO, that TPL. You hit that, and it will automatically load on your chart. This being, the reason why you want to have this saved is so that, again, it's recommended at least once a week you reboot your VPS. You can reboot your VPS from the back office, in your actual under your account. All right. Once you reboot your VPS, it will close everything out for you. So when you come in here and add your pairs back, all you have to do now is come up here, hit load template, and load it right back on instead of having to double click it and redo your settings. All right. You're saving the template so that you save all the settings. All right. Look out for version 3. So AIRO version 3, look for that to come out very soon. I have not put it out yet. I'm trying to make the file smaller and optimized so that it doesn't weigh down or slow down the VPS for those who are also using the EAs. So if you're using EAs as well as AIRO, I'm trying to make this file smaller so that it's optimized so that it runs efficiently. All right. All right, great. Let's see here. So we've talked about all that. Now that I have AIRO on the screen, let me just go ahead and walk you guys through it. Just guys, give you an update on AIRO V3. Version 3, the AIRO pip counter is going to be right over here on the left side. That way it does not interfere. Because I know a lot of you are having issues with it being in the middle of the screen. I don't know why that is. I think it's due to the size of the screen, because every time I log in, whether I log into my own personal VPS or I log into the VPS on a remote desktop for AP, mine is always in the right place. So I'm not sure why some are seeing the issue. So I'm going to put it back on the left-hand side. That way it's out of the way and people can always see it. All right. I believe it has to do something with the size of the screens you guys may be using. All right. Real quick before I move on, let me check the chat, the Q&A real quick. All right, guys, so we got a couple people here asking how can they purchase AIRO. Make sure you get back with the person that invited you to this call, and they will help you out. Someone asked about when are we going to use AIRO to trade stocks. That'll be later this year. Somebody asked about trading this week. This week, everyone is just now really starting to get back into the office. And so I would recommend waiting until next week. If you just have to trade this week, do it on a demo account is what I recommend. But that's what I recommend. All right. From Montana, I used to live there for a few years, about 5 years. Notifications from AIRO come at any time an AIRO pops up, so you can get notifications all day long. All right. I do not talk about crypto. I'm not training on crypto. We're only going to talk about and concentrate on Forex pairs. The money zone is comprised of it's comprised of London session and half of New York session. So the money zone is half of New York session and all of London session. Your pip counter, if you don't see it, I mean, it's too far on the right based on the size of your screen. So again, I'll fix that so everyone can see it. So don't worry about it at this point. AIRO will always be for beginners. No matter what version I put out, AIRO is always for beginners. All right. And the strategies, there's more strategies. If you're intermediate trader, beginner trader, expert trader, there are different strategies for those. We'll talk about the bag entry trade later on. We haven't got there yet. Yes, there will be an EA version I will be coming out with for AIRO at a later date. You can always manually place your take profit and stop loss. Even that has nothing to do with AIRO V3. That has to do with utilizing the MetaTrader 4 app. All right. We have not got the buying. I'm not going to answer some of these questions, guys. You guys are getting ahead of it. All right. All right. We got people getting ahead of us. All right. Let's get back in here. All right. So we're back on the charts here. So I'm going to just explain what you're seeing here on this chart and what everything is for. So as you can see here, you're seeing some green zones. Let me find a chart that has, there we go. This chart has green and red zones. All right. These are the zones. Red, green. All right. The red zones are resistance. They are like the ceiling. As you see here, price went up to the ceiling, bounced off the ceiling, came back down. Price went up, hit the ceiling, came back down. All right. Green zones are support. All right. They are like the floor. Price comes down, bounces off, comes down, bounces off, comes down, bounces off. If I drop a ball on the floor, it hits the floor and bounces off. If I throw it on the ceiling, it hits the ceiling, it bounces off. That's all these red and green zones indicate. All right. Next year, you're going to see the shaded area, the gray shaded area. We already went over that, but that is the money zone. The reason why it's called the money zone is because over 80% of the $6.8 trillion a day that the Forex market generates is traded during this time frame. All right. So we want to trade when the money is traded. All right. Look at that. It's moving. Price is really moving. It gets outside of the money zone and it moves a little bit. Gets inside the money zone. It's moving in a big way. Gets outside. Gets inside. It's moving, you can see its price moves more. It moves more. It moves. It's more volatile, which means there's more money in the market. And you see here, it doesn't really move too much outside of here. It gets inside. It's really moving. All right. It's more volatility in the market, which means more volatility brings more volume, which means price will move further inside the money zone typically than it does outside the money zone. Now, there's going to be some days outside the money zone where it does move. As you can see right here, outside the money zone, it's a nice move. Nice move up. All right. But typically, most days, price will not move more outside the money zone than it will inside the money zone. All right. Next, you have the blue line. All right. This is the moving average. All right. Can't tell you which one it is, but what is a moving average? Well, let's assume this is a 100 moving average. So what a moving average does is it looks at whatever the moving average is. This is the 100. It's looking at the price, and this is what these candlesticks are. It's looking at the last 100 candlesticks, and it's taking the average price, closing price of those candles. All right. Therefore, you can see candles move up, lines move up. Candles move down, the line moves down. So it's a moving average because when the next candle forms, the last candle disappears from an average standpoint. Therefore, that's why it moves up and down with the price point. So it's just there to help you from a visual standpoint understand where price may be going. If price is above the moving average, it's typically going up. If price is below the moving average, it's typically headed down. All right. Next are the candles. These are the trend colored candles. As you can see, there are 4 types of colors. Don't worry about the 4 types of colors. Green, whether it's light green or dark green, that's all you need to know. The pink and red to go together. All right, but I'll kind of explain what they both mean for you. If a candle is dark green, that means price may potentially be changing from a downtrend to an uptrend. Red to dark green, that means, it might be turning to an uptrend. If it's light green, that means price is a confirmed uptrend. All right, light green. All right. Now, if it's red, you're a confirmed downtrend. If it's the sounding pink, that means price is trending downward, but it has not confirmed downtrend. but it doesn't really matter. Red, pink, down, both greens, up. All right. And then last but not least, you have the arrows. There are 3 different types of strategies that are behind the arrows. All right. The arrows are there to help you out with potential entries. That's what the arrows are there for potential entries. All right. So there are 3 types of strategies. The first strategy is a confirmed trend change strategy. So you see here, this is a confirmed trend change. Went from red to green, you get the first arrow. The next one, the second arrow, is a continuation of the trend arrow. That one's a continuation of the trend. You get the second arrow, price continues to go up. The third candle is a counter trend, which means it's giving you a potential entry for the opposite direction. All right. Now you can see that's what this arrow right here is for. All right. It's pointing down. These 2 are pointing up. All right. Now let's go over strategy number 1 so you guys understand how everything plays together. So strategy number 1 is called the bag entry method. All right. This is the strategy that you need to master. It's the number 1 strategy, has a very high probability win ratio. All right. So first thing you want to do is, actually, before we go there, let me make sure you guys have all 10 pairs. So here are the 10 pairs down here that I recommend to use with the software. For you guys that are out there, I recommend these 10 pairs because these 10 pairs have some of the highest ADRs in the Forex space. ADR stands for average daily range, which means the average number of pips they move per day, per 24 hours. That's why I recommend these pairs. However, you can trade AIRO on every Forex pair out there. So, all right, so you're not stuck to just these 10. However, these are the 10 that I recommend. These are the 10 that I typically trade. I typically don't trade too much else. Someone asked me my favorite 3 pairs. So I want to talk about those. My number 1 favorite pair is the Great Britain Pound Japanese Yen, GBP JPY. That's number 1. Number 2 is the Great Britain Pound Aussie Dollar, the Great GBP AUD. And then number 3 is the GBP NZD, the Great Britain Pound New Zealand Dollar. These 3 Forex pairs have the 3 highest ADRs in all of Forex. All right, these 3 right here. That's why they're my favorite. They move the most. Therefore, when I use it in conjunction with AIRO, I have the best opportunity to catch my 20 pips or more. All right, very quickly as well. So once again, GBP JPY is my number 1. GBP AUD is my number 2. And GBP NZD is my number 3. All right. If you do not have any of these 10 pairs, what you want to do to find them is come to your menu bar up here, select View, come down to Symbols, and then you have all your Forex pairs here. Now, I use Hugo's Way. So with Hugo's Way, they're going to label theirs different than if you're using a different broker. Typically, though, you're going to have yours under it'll either say Forex, FX, Forex majors. Mine says FX majors. The majors are just there's 7 pairs in here. These 7 are the 7 most popular and most highly traded pairs in all of Forex. Most of the money goes through these 7 pairs. That's why they're the majors. All right. Plus, you can also see that from a major standpoint, they also have one thing in common. They have USD in them. All of them have USD in them, whether it be in the front or the backhand. All right. So to ensure that you can actually add one of these to your chart, you want to double click on a little box with the money sign in it until it turns gold. When it turns gold, you want to select all the pairs, make sure they turn gold. You then hit close. And then when you're ready to add one to the chart, you can select right underneath file. There's a little menu, little icon, white box with a green plus sign. It says create a new chart. You just select that. And then you just pick one. You just pick one. So I can go to FX majors. Here are all my FX majors. I can go to FX crosses. Here are all my FX crosses. So if I want to add my GBP JPY, I just select on it. There it is. GBP JPY. All right. I already have that one on the chart, but that's how you add the pairs. You go in there and just double click every one that you want to be able to add. All right. All right. So strategy number one. Oh, I'm sorry. Before we go there, the 10 pairs. Here are the 10 pairs. The first one is the Great Britain pound US dollar. As you see right here, GBP USD. That's number one. Number two is GBP NZD. All right. These first six are going to be all the six GBP pairs. GBP stands for Great Britain pound. So over in the UK, over in London, they use the pound dollar. The Great Britain pound is their form of currency. All right. That's the currency they use. All right. Cool, 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 cool. So you did all of that. What's next? GBP CAD, the Great Britain pound Canadian dollar. GBP CAD. Next is the GBP AUD, Great Britain pound Australian dollar. All right. Next is the GBP CHF, that you see right here, the Great Britain pound Swiss franc. CHF stands for Swiss franc. And then the last GBP pair is the GBP JPY, Great Britain pound Japanese yen. This is my favorite pair, my number one favorite pair to trade. At one point during my 4.5, going on 5 years of Forex trading, there was one point for 2 straight years, I only traded this pair. So you guys will naturally see me come to this pair a lot. I like to talk about this pair, demonstrate this pair. Most of my videos, you'll see I'm showing examples on this pair. I call out a lot of trades on this pair. This is my favorite pair. I know it very well. All right. After those 6, there are now 4 euro pairs. So the first euro pair is this one, the Euro EUR JPY, Euro Japanese Yen. So the euro, fun fact, the euro is the number 2 most traded currency in the world. Can anybody, let's stop sharing real quick, I want to see the chat. Can anybody in the chat tell me what's the number 1 most traded currency in all of the world? That's it. Mr. Phillips, USD was the first there. Yes, everybody got it. USD. That is correct. USD. All right. USD is number 1. All right. Before I come back to the Q&A, let me just finish giving you guys all the pairs. Give me 1 second here, and then we'll come back and look at the Q&A. All right. So now that we're here, next is going to be the Euro GBP, EUR GBP. That is the number 2. Number 8. Number 8 pair. Number 9, EUR AUD, the Euro Australian dollar, EUR AUD. All right. And then last but certainly not least is the EUR NZD, the Euro New Zealand dollar. Those are the 10 pairs that I recommend. Now, as I've stated multiple times before, you can trade on more than just the 10 recommended pairs. If you are a beginner, stick to the 10 recommended pairs. If you have experience and you know what you're doing, then yes, continue to use other pairs. If you're a beginner, do not worry about indices. Do not worry about cryptocurrencies. Do not worry about gold right now. You need to master trading the Forex pairs. Those others, they're different. You calculate pips different. Their margin is different. You have to have more money with those pairs. You have to be able to utilize a bigger stop loss and risk more of your account because they are more volatile, significantly more. So if you are a beginner, master the Forex pairs first before you move on to anything else. Trust me. All right. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Following the simple rules that I provide with the visual aid of AIRO will help you to cut down the time it takes for you to be a consistently successful trader All right. However, there are no guarantees. As we talked about with the, at the very beginning. All right. There's still a risk. And if you go to something else, like a cryptocurrency or gold or indices, you are running into the opportunity of blowing your account, losing all your money if you don't know what you're doing. So until you know what you're doing, master strategy number one on the Forex pairs before you move to anything else. All right. So those are the 10 pairs. 6 Great Britain pound pairs, 4 euro pairs. Those are the 10 I recommend. And that's all I do is I recommend. All right. Now, before I go to strategy number one, let me answer a couple quick questions in the Q&A if I see anything new. Someone asked me how I got my templates to show up. All right, I went over this multiple times, guys. If you're not paying attention, I need you guys to pay attention. So we have these calls for here. All right, I don't want to keep repeating myself so that everybody can get the information they need to get. Templates. This icon right here is the templates icon. You select that. You select load template, and you should, if you're following directions, have AIRO V2 and default, or whatever it is you want to call them. I call mine AIRO and default. All right, AIRO and default. So when you select those, you select one, hit open, it will automatically put either the default chart onto your screen or the AIRO V2. All right. No, PIP does not translate the dollars, but the more pips you catch, you make dollars. And it's a combination of the pips and the lot size you use that equates to the dollar. So we'll go over that, the pip and all that here in a second. After I go over strategy number one, I'll show you how all that works. All right. We will also go over how to set it to buy, use the buy and sell button. All right, guys, there's some things that you don't have to ask for. I go over every week. All right, so let me go over it first. All right, let me go over it first. All right, guys. Strategy number one, bag entry method. All right, strategy number one is called the bag method, the bag entry method. All right, so what do you want to do? First thing you want to do is you want to zoom out. All right, there's the zoom button here. You got the plus sign on the magnifying glass and the negative sign. You can see here, the negative sign says zoom out when you put your mouse over it. The positive sign, the plus sign says zoom in. So we want to go to zoom out. And you want to zoom out as far as you can until it's grayed out. You can't zoom out no more. All right. Now what you want to do is you want to count your zones. All right. Do you have more red zones than green zones? We obviously have more red than green, 8 versus 2. Therefore, we are in a downtrend, which means what? It means we're only looking for sales. We don't care about any up arrows. We only want the down arrows. All right. So we zoom back in. Next, we want to only take trades inside the money zone. All right, inside the money zone. All right, downtrend, only take sell trades inside the money zone. We don't have any here. Let me go back and find one real quick. There we go. There's a good one. All right, so this is Friday. We'll go back to last Thursday. All right, so we're inside the money zone. We got a down trade. We got a down arrow. Do we take this arrow? Does it meet the requirements? Number one, is it a down arrow? Yes, that's with the trend, because we only want to trade with the trend of the money. We don't want to trade against the trend unless you've watched strategy number 6 and you understand at what time of day that you can take a trade against the trend. All right. So rule number 1, we count our zones. We know we're looking for sales only. Rule number 2, we're inside the money zone. Rule number 3, use the bag entry method. All right. Bag entry is what? bounce, down arrow, go. Now, what does the bounce mean? All right, as you can see here, these candlesticks came up here, they touched the red zone once, touched it twice, and went away from it. Price went up, bounced off of it, headed down, just like I talked about with the ceiling. The ball went up to the ceiling, hit it, came back down. This is a bounce when price touches the zone and then goes away from it in the opposite direction. That is the bounce. So we got a bounce here. We got our arrow. We're inside the money zone. It's a down arrow with the trend. We get into the trade. So next, we get in next candle and we hit sell. And you can see here in 15, 30, 45, an hour, we got our 20 pips right there. So in an hour, I'm sorry, actually we got it earlier. 15, 30, 45. In 45 minutes, it went down 21 pips. So in 45 minutes, we got our 20 pips because the goal is 20 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. All right. Now let me, real quick, guys, let me log into my demo account. Why is it kicking me out of my demo? And I will show you guys how to place a trade with the demo account. I'm not going to trade on my live account right now because I'm not trading until next week, unless it's crypto. You guys might see me. For those who are able to trade crypto, definitely jump in with me. Some were able to, some did. Great. All right, guys. GPJPY here. Load template. Arrow open. All right, there we go. I got the arrow template on here. All right, so there are two ways to place a trade with the MT4 software. Number one is you can come up here underneath the window and select new order. And with new order, you can hit sell or buy. All right, you can also change your lot size. All right, so let me teach you about lot sizes, and then let me teach you how to count pips, and then we will go and we will play some trades, and I'll show you how to get this up. So, lot size. There are three types of lot sizes. First one is called the micro lot. It is written as 0.01 all the way to 0.09. And it is a 10-cent lot size. So the micro lot is the first lot. All right, you write it as 0.01 all the way up to 0.09. At 0.01, that is 10 cents. So at 0.09, that is 90 cents. So every pip, price goes up or price goes down, that's going to be 10 cents. All right. Next is the mini lot. That is written as 0.1 to 0.99. And that's a $1. It's $1. So the mini lot, you write it as 0.1 all the way up to 0.99. At 0.1, that's a $1 lot size. At 0.99, that's $9.90. All right. And then last but not least is my favorite, the standard lot. It's written as 1.00 to infinity, $10. So the standard lot. Standard lot is written as 1.00 to infinity. I say to infinity because the more money you have in your account, the bigger the lot size you can put on. All right, but it starts off at 1.00. I have seen a screenshot of a bank's trades, and they had 100,000 lot size on. So the more money you have in your account, the bigger the lot size you have. So that's why I say infinity. All right, now a $1 or 1.00, a standard lot, counts for $10 per pip. So if price moves up 1 pip, that's 10 bucks. If it moves down 1 pip, that's 10 bucks. All right. Those are the 3 types of lot sizes. All right. Now let's talk about counting pips. There are 2 ways to count pips. The number 1 way All right, so rule number 1. There's 2 rules on how to count your pips. If there is 2 to 3 numbers after the decimal place, use the second number. 2 to 3 numbers. So as you can see here, GBP, JPY, there's only 3 numbers after the decimal place. So as you can see here, right here, this yellow highlighted number, 140.150. All right, so 140.150 is the price. All right, that's the price. That's where this yellow line is at, 140.150. So there's 3 numbers after the decimal place. So if I want to count 1 pip up, 1 pip up is 140.160. So 1 pip up is 140.160. 1 pip down is 140.140. All right, because the second number is the pip, and the second number after the decimal is the 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 minus 1 is 4. All right. Now, if we're counting by tens, you just round to the next decimal place. So if I go up 10 pips, up is 140.250. So remember, we start off at 140.150. So 10 pips is 250. And 10 pips down is 140 point, you guessed it, 050. That's it. That's how you count them. And it's the exact same way for the next rule. If there are 4 to 5 numbers after the decimal place, use the 4th digit to count your pips. And so let's go look at one real quick so you guys can get a good idea. Let me see here. So GU, GBP USD. Now you see GBP USD has 5 numbers after the decimal place. So we got 1 point right now. Price is at 1.36320. That's what price is at right now. You can see that based on the yellow line right here. You see 1.36320. All right. So we want to count 1 pip up, 1 pip down, and then we'll do 10 pips up, 10 pips down. We're using the 4th digit. All right. 1.36330. That is 1 pip up. Number 2 is the fourth number after the decimal place. That is your pip. 2 plus 1 is 3. 36,330, 36,320. All right. And you can see here, 1.36310 is 1 pip down. All right. Same thing for 10 pips. You just round to the next decimal place. So 1.36420 is 10 pips up. We went from 320 to 420. That's 10 pips up. All right. And then last but not least, we're going to go 10 pips down. 1.36220 is 10 pips down. Boom. That is how you count pips. All right. Now, when you add this to your lot size, if you are using a micro lot and price goes from 140.150 to 140.250, you just made $1. That's 10 pips with a 10-cent lot size. Now, it won't always be exactly $1 on every broker. Some brokers do not pay out 1-to-1. So what do I mean by that? Some brokers, like Hugo's Way, they pay out like 70 cents on the dollar. So if I use a micro lot and I catch 10 pips, it won't be $1. It might be 70 cents. It might be 80 cents. It all depends on which pair you're trading. And it also depends on which broker you're using. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. Every broker is different. But that is essentially how it works. If I'm using a mini lot, which is $1 per pip, using a 0.1, and price goes from 140.150 to 140.050, that's 10 pips. I've made $10 if I had a sale, or I'm negative $10 if I'm in a buy and it goes backwards. All right. And in a standard lot, if I use a 1.00 lot size and price goes from 140.150 to 140.160, and I'm in a buy, I select buy, I'm up $10. All right, I'm up $10. That is how it works. Your lot size plus your number of pips you are losing or you're catching equals money. All right. All right, great. So now that we've gone over that, let me just check real quick on the questions before I show you how to put a trade on. Somebody asked me about trading a 50K account. So I recommend a 0.01 lot size. So the 10-cent lot size, the micro, I recommend 0.01 for every $100 you have in your account. So if you have $100 in your account, trade with a 0.01. If you have $500 in your account, trade with a 0.05. If you have $1,000 in your account, you need to trade with a 0.1 because that's 0.01 times 10. 50,000, that is, what is that? So $1,000, I would trade with a 0.1. So if I was trading a $50,000 account, I would be trading with a 50 lot, 50. 50. Someone asked me what's a good amount to trade to start investing in Forex. Whatever you can afford to lose. Master the demo account first, practice on your fake money, and then if all you can afford to lose is $100, put $100 in. If you can afford to lose 1,000, put 1,000 in. Only risk what you can afford to lose. Someone asked me on Instagram. My Instagram is at Nate Got the Bag. So I will put that in the group as well, so you guys have that. Those who want to follow me. All right. Go back to the chart. Now that we understand all that, we are going to put a trade on. So let's erase all this. All right. So again, two ways to put a trade on. You can come here under window, new order, and you can select sell or buy. You can change your lot size here, and then you can select sell or buy. I'm gonna hit sell, and there it is. I get a green line that pops up. Arrow pip counter starts going. It says I'm -2. There's a reason why I'm negative already. It's because of the spread, the difference between the bid and the ask. Now, there are two different ways to adjust your stop loss and your take profit. If I'm in a sale, which I select the sale, my take profit will be below me. I want price to go down. So I can click on this line and I can drag it down 20 pips. And you know you got 20 pips because this number right here, you see this number right here? It says 203 is close. 203 pips. 203 is just 20.3. So for your Forex pairs, if it says 203, that's really 20.3. There's a decimal. There should be a decimal in there. So if I'm selling, which I'm doing, I want price to go down. So my take profit will be below me. And my stop loss will be above me. So I put my mouse on the line, the dotted green line where my entry is at. It says drag to modify. I click on the drag to modify or the line and I drag it up. And now I want to take it to -400. So we'll get up here to -400, which is going to be off the screen, but you'll set it right there. And that's -400, give or take. And it's going to be off the screen. That's how you set it. This is my stop loss. Now, how do I tell the difference? If I put my mouse on the red line, you see it says drag to modify, profit $1.97 US dollar, pips 203. That's 20 pips. And if price comes down and hits that, I would make $1.97. All right. You come up here, put your cursor on this one here, your mouse. It says profit -$3.76. Pips -387. So that's 38.7 pips negative. And if price went here first and went above this line, it would close me out in the negative. All right. So a stop loss is used to stop the bleeding. If your trade is going in the wrong direction, you only want to risk so much capital. All right. You don't want to just let it stay in the negative forever. You know, you want to, if you made a bad trade, it goes the wrong way. Even if you made a good trade, some trades, not every trade is going to go to your take profit. All right. So if you make a trade and it does not go to your take profit and it hits your stop loss first, it will close you out in the negative at that point, and you won't risk any more money. All right. Now, next, for those this is the easy way to adjust your take profit and your stop loss. I am going to, if you want to see the trade, see your money, underneath charts, there's a little white icon here, a little white piece of paper looking thing, little white chart. It's called the terminal. You see, it says terminal. Click on the terminal, and you will see your money. So you click on the terminal. If you select trade in the bottom left-hand corner, down here where my mouse is at, hit trade. It'll bring up your balance. And you see here, I got a $4,700 demo account. It tells you my order number. It tells me what time I put the trade on. It tells you what type of trade it is, which is a sale. It tells you the size of the trade or my contract, and that's 0.01 lot size. It tells you what symbol I'm trading on. It tells me what price that I got in at. It tells you what my stop loss is set at, what my take profit is at, and it tells me what the current price is at. And then it tells me also what my commission is, which means that, as you can see here, I'm -27 cents right now, but my overall profit is -33. Well, -28, -30 is constantly moving. So I'm at -30 and at -35. What that means is that's the commission. So this is where the brokers make their money. It's a 5-cent commission on this trade. So whether I make $2 or lose $2, I'm going to end up paying the additional 5 cents. So they're going to either pay me $1.95, so take the 5 cents out of my $2 profit, or I'm going to lose $2.05 because I lost my $2.05 if the trade goes the wrong way. All right, that's how that works. If you want to close your trade out, right next underneath profit, right next to the number on the same line here, there's X. Just hit X, and it closes everything out for you. All right, closes everything out for you. All right. Now I'm going to show you the second way to place the trade and another way to adjust your take profit and your stop loss. It's a little bit more difficult to adjust this way, but if you want the easy way to put a trade on, you want to right click on the black of the screen, come down to one-click trading. All right, you want to come down to one-click trading. You should have a sell button and a buy button. The sell is your ask price. The sell is the bid. The buy is the ask. You always buy the bid and sell the ask. The ask is the price that the market is asking for, the other sellers. Because every time you buy, someone is selling. Every time you sell, someone is buying. There's going to always be somebody on the opposite end of every trade that you place. All right? So you can adjust your lot size here. So I can go to 0.1. I now have a mini lot. It's not a micro anymore. I got a 0.10 lot size. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and select, let's select buy this time. So we selected buy this time. We're going to go in the opposite direction. All right. Now, here is the difficult way to change your take profit and stop loss. You have to know how to count your pips. That's why I taught you guys how to count the pips. So what you do is you can see here when I put a trade on, I don't have a stop loss or take profit. So I double click on my stop loss. You can see here, I entered the trade in at 141.018 for a buy. We want price to go up. So now we got to count up. So my take profit is going to be what? 141 point what? We want 20 pips. If we got in at 018, add in 20 pips, we're going to get out at 218. All right, 141.218. And for the stop loss, double click it. Again, we got in at 141.018. This is where the math comes in. This is why it's a little more difficult. All right, I can do this in my head, but it may not be as easy for others. 141.018 minus 40 pips is going to be what? Should be 130 point. What is that? 130 point. That's 618. 130. We're at 141.018, so it's going to be 140 point. Yeah, 618. Somebody probably put in the chat. Hit 140. Any reason why clicking on one click trade doesn't give me the pop-up? Let me put that in there. 140.618. 140.618. And then once we're done, we hit the modify button here. Automatically sets everything for you. 20 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. If you're not getting the one-click trading button when it pops up, make sure that you are logged into your account. A real quick way to understand or know that you're logged in is if you look down here in the bottom right-hand corner, if this thing says invalid account or login or something like that around those lines, you are not logged in. If it says you got a green bar, red bars here like I have, and it tells you how many kilobytes, you are currently logged in. So you want to make sure you're logged in. That's the only reason I can think of why you might get the actual one-click trading button. Other than that, you should get it every time. Right-click on the black screen, wait for the menu button to pop up, hit one-click trading. That turns it off. Do it over again. That puts it on. All right. That's it, guys. On placing trades, we're up 1 pip, you can see here. And even though we're up 1 pip, I use a bigger lot size. I use a 0.1. You can see our commission is 50 cents. Someone may ask about swap. What does swap mean? All right, great. If I hold a trade and it goes beyond the white dotted line, our period separator, then guess what? The broker will charge me a swap fee for holding the trade beyond the next day. All right. It's another way they make money. As you can see, I'm currently up 58 cents, but overall, I'm only up 8 cents. That's the 50-cent commission. I'm going to hit close. Boom. We just made an 8-cent profit. We're out the trade. All right. That is how you place trades. That's how you set your take profit stop loss. I showed you both ways to place trades, both ways to set your take profit stop loss. The easiest way is to just use the one-click trading and then move your click on and move your take profit stop loss manually. All right. Those are the easiest ways to do it. Now, strategy number 1. Zoom out all the way. Now that you know that. Count your green zones versus red zones. You can see we're uptrend. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 versus 1. 10 green versus red, red 1. All right. Only trade inside the money zone. Only take bag entry trades. As you can see here, we didn't have a bag entry trade. Price didn't bounce. All right. This price bounced here, and then inside the money zone, we got to buy. So we get into this trade. You would have gotten to this trade right here at the start of this candle. Price went backwards on you, 12 pips. Price ran up, 29 pips. So in 15, 30, 45, an hour and 15 minutes, right here at this point, you hit 20 pips. You're done. You are done. Trade is over with. It will automatically close your trade out in profit, and you're done. That's strategy number 1. Real simple. Let's go look at it on a sell trade. Let's go to Euro JPY. They should be selling. All right. Zoom out all the way. 3, 6 red versus 1 green. We're only looking for sales. Inside the money zone, waiting for the bounce. With the bounce, you only need 1 candle for a bounce. So you see here, this wick, the wick touched it. That's it. We only need 1 candle to touch. It touched it, went the other way. There's a bag entry there. We don't take that one. It's outside the money zone. Inside the money zone, we have the second one. You can take 2 consecutive in a row. So if you're inside the money zone and you get 2 back-to-back arrows with the trend, you can take 2 in a row. Now, if there's an up arrow in between, don't take the second one. But 2 consecutive down arrows when the trend is down and you're inside the money zone, you can take both arrows. All right. 20 pips, 40 pips stop loss. 20 pips take profit, 40 pips stop loss. You can clearly see here, you got in on this candle right here. It went backwards, 13.5 pips, and then it dropped 66 pips. You got more than your 20. That's strategy 1, guys. That is strategy 1. That is how you take the trade. This is the strategy that you need to master before you move on to anything else. All right. Let me stop sharing. Let's go in here and take a look to see if we have any more Q&A questions. Not going to go over gold. Sorry. We're only going over Forex pairs for the beginners. Master the Forex pairs before you move on to gold, guys. I know it's tempting to see people trading gold and cryptocurrency and indices, but take your time, master the Forex pairs. All right. My risk to reward philosophy. So I have a 2 risk to reward, or yes, 2-to-1 ratio. All right. A lot of Forex gurus always talk about 1-to-2, 1-to-3. So you want to risk 10 pips to get 20 pips. So, I have it the other way around. Risk 20 pips to get 40. They would tell you that's bad math. You want to risk 20 to get 40. Mine's the other way around. All right. Here's the reason why. With my risk to reward ratio, and these aren't my results, but the beta testers, those who tested the software out before, Avoya Prime made it available for everyone, they were winning over 85% of the time. Most of those gurus that have a 1-to-3, 1-to-5 risk to reward ratio only win 50 to 60% of the time. They lose more than they win. But their philosophy allows them to be profitable because they risk very little amounts of money versus their reward. So when they win big. When they lose small. For me, I believe in giving the pairs some flexibility to move. So that's why I recommend 0.01 lot size for every $100. And I also recommend the 20 pip take profit, 40 pip stop loss. All right, here's why. If you're winning over 85% of the time, even when you take those losses, you're still going to be net positive. What do I mean? If I catch 8 pips, 8 trades, so I take 10 trades. If 8 are winners and 2 are losers, 8 times the 20 pips that I catch on the 8 trades, that is 160 pips positive. If I lose 2 trades, that is negative 80 pips. 160 positive minus 80 negative, I'm still positive 80 pips. That is my philosophy. That's why I use it. The pairs that I recommend are highly volatile. They have high ADRs. They fluctuate. So you're not going to always go straight in the right direction. Sometimes it may go backwards a little bit. But at 40 pips and 80, with the 80%, over 80% win ratio, you will win more than you lose in the long run. It's all about the long run, guys. Yes, if you're using Hugo's way, 0800 to 2000 is the correct time frame. One-click trading doesn't always work depending on the broker. I've never heard that before. So if that's the case, that's new one on me because one-click trading has nothing to do with the broker. One-click trading is the MetaTrader 4 tool. It should always work. Now, I haven't used it on every broker, but I've used it on more than 10 brokers. I've never had a problem. So if that's the case, that is a new one that I've heard before, guys. Market scanner will be released when it's done and ready to be released. So I'll give you guys updates on the market scanner when it's time. So right now let's just work with what we have, guys. Always work with what we have. All right. So for the most part, I don't see any other additional questions. We've gone over strategy number 1. We've gone over the setup. Yeah, Christian, man, I don't know. I've never encountered that. If it's working on 7 out of 10, it's working on all 10. So it's weird it's not working on all pairs. So that's an issue. You may want to reboot your VPS. All right, someone asked me to show how to reboot my VPS. Let me log into Avoria Prime real quick so I can show you. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. Here's my back office. So to get to this screen, I select AP Marketplace and switch tools. Select AP Marketplace. To open that up, select switch tools, and you'll get this screen. It tells you what your software level is at. I'm bronze, and it tells you what tool you have. If you have a higher level than bronze, then it'll tell you, what tools you have selected. All right. This is also what you need to do in the very beginning to select your tool. So here, as you can clearly see here, I have my tool number 1 is active, is AIRO. All right. I want to select launch VPS. From here, I can launch my VPS. All right. I just select the access pass that I'm running. It gives me the VPS password. You want to copy and paste this password. And then you want to come in here to connect to your VPS. It's going to pull it up here in the top right-hand corner. You want to paste that. All right. We sent that. Oh, I've already logged in. I apologize. Since I've already logged in, I'm good to go. So here is my VPS since I've already logged in. When you select that, you're going to select that and you hit OK, and then it will pull up your chart. And this is where you should be going in here and changing your, based on the settings I gave you guys. As you guys can clearly see here, it doesn't even look very good on my VPS. This connection here through the website is not the best. It cuts the screen off. As you can see here, cut my pip counter. But on so what you guys were seeing on my previous screen where you can see my whole pip counter, that was me logged into the remote desktop. All right. So that is me logged into the remote desktop. So if I close out of here, if I want a remote desktop connection, I select this and it gives me my IP, my trader name, and my password. All right. That allows me to log into my VPS. Then you need to download, if you have a Microsoft computer, you just go to a remote desktop and use that and log in with those credentials, your credentials you have, or you can, if you have a Mac like I do, you can download remote desktop, from the App Store, and you can log in that way. All right. The remote desktop will give you the best visibility and functionality. It's just easier to view, and you get a bigger screen. And then last but not least, right here, reboot your VPS. You select reboot VPS there. Select OK, and it will reboot your VPS for you. That's how you reboot the VPS, guys. Yes, for the remote to trade on your desktop, use the remote desktop. Remote desktop. If you're not seeing the pip counter, do not worry about it at this point. It will be in AIRO version 3. Everyone will be able to see it in the same place. All right. You can use the bag strategy before or outside the money zone. However, your chance of probability of winning is lower than inside the money zone because of the volatility. Price is trending more aggressively inside the money zone than outside the money zone. I talk about this in the videos. All right, make sure you watch the videos. Please don't get on a call asking questions if you have not had an opportunity to watch the videos, guys. All right, you got to take this serious. If you're going to invest your money, there is no shortcut in Forex. You have to spend some time. I've tried to make the process easier with AIRO, but you guys still have to take the time to watch the videos, practice on your demo account, ask some questions on these live sessions, but make sure you're watching the videos. All right, all your answers are there. You can watch the videos as many times as you want. All right. All right, so it's a new year, guys. We are only going over strategy number 1. The other strategies, we will go over on our live sessions to kind of go over them. But in this session, this is the beginner session. So for everyone who is a builder of the company, or you have recommended someone to utilize the software, this is the call you want to put them on to get set up if they are a beginner. All right. If you want to know anything else, watch the videos or get on live trading sessions that will be on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. All right. Next week, we start back Wednesday night. All right. We will, over the next couple of weeks to a month, start adding additional time frames and additional days to the live trading. By February, we will have Tuesdays for 12 hours, Wednesdays for 12 hours, and Thursdays for 12 hours. So the entire money zone for 3 days in a row we will have starting in February. at some point, which will give you guys 36 hours of live trading. All right. The only way you can log in using your telephone is if you go through the website. If you go through the website and use your VPS that way, that's about it. All right, Valdez, that makes sense. So if that broker tells you that these pairs are for only marking up, that is why you can't use them then. You need to only, if you want to actually trade that pair, select the pairs that you can actually trade with, and then those are the ones that will allow you to actually have the actual one-click trading button authorized for it. If you need the AIRO announcements Telegram, we can put it into the chat. All right. So I will put the, one second, let me pull it up real quick. I'll put the link in here if you do not have it. If you don't have it, give your sponsor, they can give it to you. So I have just placed into the chat group, that is the link to the Telegram channel for the AIRO announcements. All right. And then for those who are not in the main chat group, I will add that as well. All right, just put the second link in there. The second link is for the chat group for AIRO. All right. All right, guys, we are running an hour and a half over. So with that being said, Samuel, it's the same way. You're going to go through your VPS. So whether you're using a Mac or not a Mac, getting this, getting the AIRO shortcut is the exact same way. So we went over that a couple times there. That's it, guys. We are an hour and a half now into everything. This week, the market should start heating back up. Again, we will start the live trading sessions, not this coming Wednesday, the following Wednesday. If you guys are in the Impact group, Dante is leading that group's AIRO trading call every morning at 10 Eastern. If you are in his group, you can actually have access to that. You get on the live trading calls. I believe they start back up today. Tomorrow morning. And then if, let me see the other group. If you are in Ron's group, he has a call at the same time starting for tomorrow, 10 Eastern. All right. These guys, and there's other traders. Again, get with your whoever recommended you or sponsored you to Avoid Prime and AIRO. They will have access for you guys to get on other live trading calls. Eventually, we'll have 36 hours. Give us time as we build the team out. Hey, if you do plan on trading this week, trade responsibly. And I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Thank you.